Folks, let's talk about the phrase liberal world order for a second, because some of you might not remember or recognize the significance of that phrase. Liberal world order is a phrase that is indicative of a very globalist way of thinking. When you think of New World Order, I want you to think of deep state. Understand the direction that our whole world is going in. Let me read to you a quote that came out of the World Economic Forum. By the way, this was the World Economic Forum's panel on restoring security and peace. I already talked to you about some of the headliners in this panel. Chrystia Freeland, the Deputy Prime Minister of Canada, was asked if she was worried about the staying power of the West. She replied that it would be stupid not to worry about that, but immediately rebutted the worry by stressing that Ukraine was going to win the war and demonstrate the strength of democracy to the world. Interesting, by the way, the president of Poland wanted nothing to do with that conversation. Understand that the idea of getting these sort of non-answers is very troubling, because what it demonstrates to us is that world leaders are acting on the basis of their fear of larger powers that are pushing a narrative that is stupendously destructive. This is why Barack Obama did so good at what he did, not as a president. He was a terrible president, but he did so good at what he did as a person who was very good at submitting to the deep state. He recognized very early on that he was not going to be able to carry through any agenda that he thought he could carry through. Rather, he recognized that the only way he could have a successful presidency as it relates to his own interests being served was by doing what the deep state told him to do and being a good old boy doing it. What he may not have anticipated at the time, and what we did not anticipate at the time, was he became so close with the deep state and such friends with the deep state that he has a lot more influence now than he ever thought he could have had in the past, and probably stands as a more powerful figure now than he ever was when he was a president of the United States. Folks, I bring all of this stuff up because I'm telling you that the direction we are going in is the direction of the final Antichrist that we read about in the book of Revelation. We are headed towards Revelation chapter 13. Praise God, we won't be here for this, but we are definitely headed in that direction. Folks, understand this. I believe this. I stand on this thought. The war in Ukraine is undoubtedly existential for Western leaders. Why is it existential for Western leaders? It's existential for Western leaders because it becomes and always has been the petri dish for their mechanism of manipulation as they develop the construct of totalitarianism as it sits in the world in which they seem to want to control. What they don't realize is they're making way for the final Antichrist, and then the final Antichrist is going to be coming for them first. Understand that, folks. It is absolutely what is going to happen. Make no mistake about it. That's exactly the direction things are going in.